I'm a Sun Devil, man!
27-yard line. That's a great call, too. Play fake. Farmer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Pull. Touchdown. Quick flag.
Third down and 5. Levitt swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure. Shut this team this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon comes in. Welcome to 2025.
Today. This one the other way. It's still going back. That's the drag. Walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.
Takes his shot for Derby. Flag out. Doesn't matter. Touchdown.
All right, fans, turn your attention to center court for the ringing of the victory bell. Congratulations, Sun Devils! Victory number 10, the best start ever for Sun. court for the ringing of the victory bell. Congratulations, Sun Devils! Victory number 10, the best start ever for Sun.
What is up, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps? I hope you enjoyed part of Friday's uploaded thing there. But anyway, you should have seen it. So I'm hoping you saw that. But nonetheless, it is Monday. It's a massive, phenomenal, absolutely just completely thrilling. Sorry. Sorry. I'm here at DFA, so I need to do one thing real quick. My bad, because I'll keep disappearing. And there we go. So yes, we are here for volleyball. We're going to see, maybe we have a guest. Maybe we have a guest sit with us. I don't know yet. I was working on that. It is kind of last minute because they are headed to, as you saw there, the Sweet 16, my friends. Yes, Sun Devil volleyball coach Van Neal. I mean, just, again, phenomenal job that Coach Van Neal has done. Staff, team, again, it takes everybody. But, man, this is absolutely awesome just due to the fact that think about this. 3 years ago when Coach Van Neal took over, last year of the Pac-12, and it was a 14-0 start, right? Non-conference. And yes, a lot of people said, well, and he got hired in December. We all know that. Hired in December. Let's fast forward through it. And then had 9 players left on the squad, had to fill a squad, try to get a schedule. But most teams had already scheduled stuff by then. So all their non-conference weekend play was on the road. The closest one up in Flagstaff, when he was the first coach on the show. Anyway, but then you go through the Pac-12 at 14-7. Absolutely phenomenal, guys. Again, money. And again, I'm gonna put this up because this is the Utah State, who beat Tennessee, and they deserve to beat Tennessee. They absolutely whooped Tennessee. Serving score match. And they took it in four. Utah State was able to manage. Again, they worked hard. Okay, so that was. Hold on, we're going to go backwards. This is the point of play. This is how hard that State had worked. So it's not how they work. Look at the playing defense. I mean, you saw how hard that they worked there, and it's one of those things where, that's what Utah State did to Tennessee, by the way. Get too, guys. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I mean, just look at this. Sorry, my bad. But look at this from this aspect. I mean, Utah State's on serving. I mean, they were battling. And so ASU takes them forward. I mean, look at this. ASU takes them forward. And then and there you go. Then this one was a little bit easier. Kind of an anticlimactic. You have a 1 point to 15. The last thing that I showed, guys, best start in program history. Molly Miller has come in. And again, yes, they're playing who's in front of them, who's on their schedule. But this, my friend, is absolutely style of that straight over.
All right, fans, turn your attention to center court for the ringing of the victory bell.
The best start in program history.
Congratulations, doubles, victory number 10, the best start ever for
USF's been scoring up in the 70s. And Coach Miller talked about that. Is just, again, absolutely awesome. 10-0. And then the men's team, guys, hello. They go to the Jerry Colangelo Classic, which they play every year of the arena. Yeah, they go over there and they control Oklahoma. And it's absolutely awesome. And again, big fan of it due to the fact that, I mean, men's hoops getting off to a solid start as well. And for Coach Hurley, I mean, look, look, traditionally, since he's been here, non-conference after he's gotten going has been absolutely money. Think of it that way. Yeah, it has been absolutely money, has non-con, his record, that is why. So, I mean, the fact you go in there, you dominate an SEC team, the team down south beat up an SEC team. I mean, yeah, the Big 12, obviously it's going to be a gauntlet. But But as I always say, to overstate the obvious and the simple, right? My pitchfork lunchers, you get off to a fast start like that. It definitely helps. Obviously, not just confidence, but in the end, it completely helps because you get in close games, battle, you feel like you can go toe to toe with anybody. I mean, the way Pig Johnson and Mo Odom are playing, and Masamba Jop. I mean, I know he's a freshman, but coming along, and I mean, he's mixing the lineup, and he got mad, at his at his starters, pulled them out, and like Coach Hurley has said many a times before, this season so far, that he doesn't have to worry about they pull somebody out and somebody's doing something, and that's that. So it's again, to me, it's absolutely, I love seeing it. And they beat up Oklahoma, an SEC team. So I mean, right now that should get them a ton of points because SEC everything seemingly, but it's not better than the Big 12 top to bottom. And who's bottom of the Big 12 is not going to look like the bottom of the SEC in football. Just saying. But speaking of football, hello, it's great. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. That is where the Devils are heading. So let's see. I am going to take a break. Actually, no, not yet. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so football going to the Tony the Tiger Bowl. But and again, and Texas Tech, the only Big 12 team in the college football playoff. Yes, I know you guys have seen a million things, and I'll get to that this week. But real quickly, yes, Notre Dame did get snubbed, in my opinion, as did BYU. Now, I'm not saying the top of the group of five should not be part of it, but I am saying that it is a little bit of it's a wee bit frustrating if you're Notre Dame and people say, oh, they're not playing a bowl. Georgia did it the other year, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I just don't know. So that's one of those things. But nonetheless, that is where they are at. So, hey, I'm going to take a quick break. When we get back, either going to be with a guest or up here or getting sound down there. So we shall find out. But yes, I will, like I said, take a quick break. Yeah, so we'll take a quick break and we'll be back. Oh, actually, we're just going to go down now. We're going to add this and then go down. Well, I hope this is charged enough because we're going down. No.
I think we wanted to do it. I think they were really dialed in. The passion for home, we're good to see, and we just got to continue that and play our game. You know, it's going to be the key. It's not trying to do anything new or different. It's just play ASU volleyball.
Yeah, what has been working with that 10-game win streak going on for you guys right now?
I know we had a streak, but you want to tell you, I don't pay attention to that stuff. I just think we've been, you know, really intentional in our practice gym, and the things that we've wanted to focus on has turned over, and we've executed that on the court.
What lessons have you learned, if any, over the last 2 years of making it to the tournament, and especially 2 years ago making it to the Sweet 16 as well?
I think probably the biggest one for me when I think about coaching them is reminding them to embrace the moment, have fun. It's corny, pressure is a privilege, all that. I mean, it's really corny, but it is true. And I mean, I'm having to remind myself, like, you got to be grateful that you actually are even in this opportunity, because there's, you know, 300 some teams that aren't playing anymore. We're fortunate that we get to keep playing and get to keep coaching this team, who I love. It's cool.
So we get into the final rounds, as it's win or go home now. Well, it is now. It's been,
Yep.
But you know, just going along. How important do you think the experience and this experienced upperclassmen will play a part of this?
Yeah, I think you got someone, you know, like Bailey, who was with us last year. Bren was with us last year. You know, this was disappointing. Colby and Noemi have been here, you know, a couple of years. First year, maybe not playing as much, but they've been around. And then last year they were playing. And so I think you always have that. Probably the biggest thing is just continue to remind them there's got to be a sense of urgency in our practice gym, which I think we've been doing a good job at.
What's as challenging as your schedule's been too, I mean, obviously conference play, but when you look at it, when you're, I mean, in games, and every match is different, but how much do you usually, I mean, will you draw on like past matches where you say, hey, you know, I know you're scouting a team, but like, can you draw a lot from your past, like Big 12 matches?
I think the only time I look back is maybe situational, or if I'm trying to get them to crack a smile and we're down by a lot, I might say we got them right where we want them, and they'll laugh, and just kind of reminders that we've done it before and do it again.
Their blocking looks like it's a big strength for them too. Is that something that you're really going to have to deal with as well?
Yeah, I mean, at this point of the tournament, everyone's block is big. We've been harping on that for weeks now. I think in our conference we had a lot of big blocks, and that's just something I've been focused on that for weeks. You know, well, really for more than that, of making sure we're using hands and covering. You know, we got to be really, really good with coverage.
What's special about Arizona State volleyball, and when you take this job, to believe that you can turn it into something like this and a consistent tournament team?
You know, I think there's a lot of things. I think you have to have really nice support from your administration, and that goes from literally the top of President Crow. You know, Dr. Run was interim here and helped us make some strides there, and the Graham taking over was huge. They've really done a nice job investing in our program, so it starts there. I honestly feel like I have the best staff in the country. I wouldn't trade them for anyone, and you have to have a staff that not only is very competent, but that you trust. And like, I trust my staff, like, literally my life. I love them to death. And then I think really the building here has just been kind of the culture and standards we built from day one. So I always talk about like the original 9. So when I walked in the door, I had 9 kids, and they weren't just bought into like what we're doing in the practice gym, but they were bought into the connection piece, like the relationship piece outside of the gym. And you can see with our game changers, I mean, the love and support that they have for each other is really, really special. And you don't always have that on a team. And I can tell you that for 3 straight years, we've been together, it's just been these groups that truly care about each other and have fun and celebrate each other.
You mentioned previously that sometimes your team has a tendency to take their foot off the gas. How important is it to be hitting at all cylinders against a team as good as Creighton?
Yeah, at this point in the tournament, we got to be doing our best to stay engaged and keep the foot on the gas the whole time. You know, I thought we did a better job we've done a better job recently, even against Utah State. I mean, they were playing out of them things in that set that we lost. And I thought we battled back and did some really good things to set us up for success the next set.
I believe you guys had 8 24 wins on the season. How does that high level of competition throughout the season in general help once you get to this Sweet 16 round going forward?
I do think strength of schedule matters. It's important to play physical teams because the deeper you go in the tournament, the more skilled and more physical you're going to play. So I just look at it as, hey, we've already done this. We've already been through this. We've had these battles. We played really good teams. We don't need to do anything different. I think if you just go through and smash your conference and, maybe you start thinking I have to do something different to play a team. And we really don't. We just have to be ourselves.
I know it's a completely different team, but is there anything about being in the Sweet 16 the second time that is different from the first, or is useful having been there 2 years ago, or anything along those lines?
No, I think, look, the biggest difference is we're a lot more physical than we were. I think the last year's team and this year's team are vastly different when it comes to like the style of play. Like last year's team was just a ball control, like almost like at the international level, like Japan. Like it's just like everything gets up, it pass times. This year's team is certainly not as skilled ball control wise, but I think we've made really, really good strides. But we are way more physical. I mean, you can see it in just our blocks per set and kind of physical all the time. So that's different. But I don't know, just got to play see volleyball. See what happens.
So I know they weren't in the lineup as much, but if I'm correct, both Jillian and Bryn were on the Sweet 16 team.
Yeah, Jillian was on it. Bryn was on it. Bailey was on it. Stella was on it. KP, Jaden was obviously out. Bryn was I guess the most experienced because she had a role on that team. Bailey was kind of in and out. So yeah, I mean, we have some kids that were there. Yeah, how could I forget about Jill?
And this is just the 4th time that ASU's made it this far. Just how proud are you of just this specific group?
Yeah, I mean, we're really fortunate to be here. It's just, like I said, it's a testament to the staff, the investment in the athletic department, us, the school and us, and just every kid that's walked through that program.
How hard is it to get to this point?
I think it's a lot harder than people realize. And like I said, there's 317 not playing right now. Really grateful that we are.
And then do you guys leave today?
We'll leave tomorrow. Okay. Practice tomorrow. Head out.
Does being on the road affect anything after having home support for those 2 games to open the tournament?
I don't know. I mean, it's neutral site, at least for our first match. They'll probably have a lot of people drive there. It's a little closer, but I feel like we've got some fans that are going to travel and some families that are bringing big crowds. So
it feels like regardless of where the support is from, it feels like the atmosphere inside the venue always seems to help this team. Do you think, regardless of whether it's for the Sun Devils or Creighton, that fan atmosphere is going to help this team play its best?
I do think our team likes playing in front of crowds. I think it's fun. There's an energy, and I think our team, like our game changers, feed off it. I think kids like Noemi for sure feed off it. Bailey loves it. Yeah, and I think it's fun to play in front of big crowds.
Those kind of tight games, going back to Colorado and Kansas 5-set, how much of those type of games and high pressure moments would benefit this team going forward in Sweet 16?
Find out. I hope we do. Tell them to put in their confidence piggy bank every time they do something special, and those are the things we remind them about. We've been here and we can do it.
The portal is already open. Is that something that you have, like behind the scenes, to even be dealing with right now, or you just put that totally aside until this is all over?
Oh, we're dealing with it. It's part of the job of a coach.
Any other questions? All right, great. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all your support. Let's go, Steve.
And then,
All right. So sorry, bud. Okay. So that was JJ Van Neal, as you guys see. We're waiting for Colby Neal now. But that means I can take a break because I just walked out here. So take a break. We'll be back with Colby Neal.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to take like a cup of soda? Yeah, it's perfect. Okay.
How does it feel to be in the Sweet 16 for a second straight year? And how does it help you having been there last year?
It feels really exciting. I know there's a ton of girls who either haven't been to the tournament or this is the farthest that they've gone. So it's just really cool to have such a fun experience. And just for me, being able to understand like the pressure that goes on in those games.
How did you guys' experience in the NCAA tournament last year kind of carry you this year and fuel your motivation throughout the season?
I think definitely last year, obviously Noemi and I were there together, but just knowing like how close we were and that there's just a few more things that we can clean up to, keep our season alive. It's really motivated us, and I think that we're putting in the work in practice. So super exciting to see if we can do it and go even further this year.
You talked about the pressure. How much do you enjoy it personally?
I love it. I love playing in front of a huge crowd. I think it's really fun. It's just like the stakes when they're higher, it just means so much more. So it makes me really excited.
So obviously rooting for you, but if they're rooting against, does that kind of give you guys a little more chip too?
Yeah, it's always fun. I mean, especially even just like in regular season games, seeing opposing student sections there, it just adds a little more fuel to the fire. So
From the first two rounds, when you get to the regional, how much different is the atmosphere and just the overall pressure, like you mentioned before?
it just, to me, it gets even more emotionally invested of like, I really want this, and I know that everybody else really wants this. But you can just feel like, obviously to get to this point, like the teams are very good and people are really hungry to keep going and really, really driven. So having someone else who is also that driven, like that's just always really tough, but really fun.
So to piggyback off that, you're saying like teams are being really good. Coach kind of just mentioned that too. At this point, everybody's has a really good block, has really good, outsides. But to that point, though, I mean, how much I guess more blown up do just the little things get because teams see each other and it's like, okay, we know what they're gonna do. They're really good. You're good, but I mean, just the little things. How much just focusing on those or do those get just highlighted? I guess in a match.
At this point in the season, it's kind of like you are who you are. So whatever you do well, you need to make sure that you're doing that and you're really nurturing that skill. So us just having a really good understanding and self-awareness of what we need to do to keep going and to win and what we need to take advantage of on the team on the other side, whoever that is, that's what's most important in a tournament.
To that point of who you are, JJ talks about all the time. We just got to play Arizona State volleyball. We just got to play Arizona State volleyball. What does that mean?
Yeah, to me, Arizona State volleyball is just finding a way. Like this team, no matter what it is, it may look really ugly, it may look really pretty, but we just want to find a way to score, put the ball on the floor, keep the ball alive, keep it going, and never give up. Just that grittiness is something that's been a huge point in our program, and just being aggressive in all aspects, on offense and on defense. You never know until you go is a big thing that we have. It's like just go for the ball. It doesn't matter if it's yours or not. Just make sure it's up. Blocking. We've talked a ton about just touch everything, but just be everywhere, do everything that you can, and give 100% that you have. So that's Arizona volleyball to me.
Ava Martin, how much of a focus has she been for you guys defensively?
Yeah, I mean, she's been a huge focus. When you look at the numbers, she gets a ton of attempts. So we know that she's good. We know they're going to set her. So just making sure that we're ready and really looking at her tendencies and I guess what we can do to stop them.
How can those high pressure games, specifically against Colorado and Kansas this year, kind of help you guys in preparing for these possibly final matches?
Yeah, it's funny. Noemi and I were talking about this yesterday, but we've seen so many really good teams, really good players, really good atmospheres. So in the tournament, I guess it's just kind of taking bits and pieces from all of them. So there are bits from Kansas, bits from BYU, bits from Colorado that we can all take away. And even though it's a different team that we may not be super comfortable with, we have all these other teams that we have experience with that we can draw off of.
Is there anything different about Martin? You faced a lot of good hitters already this season. Was there anything different or better or where would you rank her among the hitters that you've seen this season?
I mean, she's obviously incredible. She can hit so many amazing shots and she's a really versatile player. So just being able to really be prepared for that is something that's a little bit new for us for sure, but super exciting at the same time.
JJ mentioned that this team is extremely physical. How do you sort of connect that and put your stamp on the game first?
Mm-hmm. We have a ton of people who can jump really high, swing really hard, really fast, and we have really big blocks on our team. So that's something that obviously has allowed us to get here to this point. And it's just something that we want to continue to highlight of not making ourselves smaller, but allowing ourselves to be the biggest, strongest, and fastest versions of ourselves.
Then obviously you mentioned seeing teams that you're not familiar with. What's the fun in that and the challenge in that at the same time? Is it a little easier to be? You're obviously focused, but just be relaxed as you're like, all right, both teams in the first set are going to kind of try and feel things out.
Yeah, I really enjoy playing new and different teams. Even obviously a lot of people were shocked when we ended up playing Utah State upset. That made me really excited. I think that's just the fun of the tournament in general is you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who you're going to play. And so kind of that being spontaneous, having to run on the fly, I personally really enjoy it. I think it's a really good time.
You both played Penn State at the beginning of the season. You guys won, they lost. Is there anything that you can take from that common opponent?
I mean, I think it definitely gives a little bit of confidence to know that, they can be taken down. And even though obviously we've had losses as well, just being able to know that anything can happen and we can come out victorious and keep going on our tournament run.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Safe travel.
Travel.
Hi, where were you doing?
What's that?
Where were you doing?
Zoom? What do you mean? Oh, actually, I didn't jump on it because I was doing my show for this, so I had to upload a thing. It was all Zoom, so.
Oh, you're over there.
The media worker.
No, I was sitting up there doing my show.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
I literally was like, I was listening to it in the car as I was driving over, and then I parked.
Requirement. So.
Jeff, you're gonna go to.
Audio Jungle.
All right, welcome back into Pitchfork Lunch. You saw it right there, JJ Van Neal and Colby Neal. As they talking about obviously playing Creighton coming up, and Creighton obviously a 3 seed, a very good team. Obviously, I can tell you who they have. Yes, so yeah, Creighton obviously totally rocking it. They were the 3 seed, as you guys all know. So they, let's see, Sweet 16. Look at that. Forks up, baby. Creighton took out Northern Colorado, took them 5 in 5, and then they played Northern Iowa, who ASU opened the season up with. Remember that? And they both played Northern Iowa, and they both played Penn State. So, but yeah, Creighton took care of UNI in 4. And then ASU, as you know, swept Coppin State. Bam. Utah State got 1 set after they beat Tennessee in 5, in which, guys, I mean, talking about a Friday, they earned it. And Tennessee, a 7 seed or not, like 4th place in the SEC, like Utah State, again, their coach, again, Coach Urban, very awesome. Again, caught up with him after the game, after the match, actually both nights. And yeah, I mean, they go undefeated in the WAC. They won 22 in a row, including beating Tennessee. So yeah, they earned it. But let's see. So we have the Devils and in the Sweet 16, obviously playing Creighton. They'll be looking to take on the winner of Kentucky and Cal Poly. Cal Poly beat SC in 5, and because SC swept Princeton. And look, 5 sets. Look, Cal Poly feels magical. They're on. We want to call it Cinderella. They were an at-large, had a hell of a season. They beat BYU, Big 12 foe, in 5, right? And then they beat USC in 5. So they take out the Big 12 and the Big 10. Now they got an SEC number 1 seeded Kentucky is up next for them, and that is at 1:30 on the 11th. And today is 8th, so Thursday. So, but the first game at 11 a.m. Thursday is Arizona State and Creighton. And again, this is all in Kentucky. The Devils, you heard Coach Van Neal, they're leaving tomorrow. Again, so stoked for this team. Again, how hard they work, the fun they have, the game changers. And yeah, I mean, even Utah State bowed to Piper Rama and the game changers as they're having a little challenge going on. But to say the least, yeah, that is just, again, absolutely, yeah. So, but that's what the Devils have. And so, yeah, so ASU is in the Sweet 16 from the Big 12, along with Iowa State got swept by Minnesota, and that was a 4-5 matchup. All right, so ASU is the only Big 12 school on this side, the upper tier portion of the bracket, but the so we have the Pittsburgh region and the Kentucky region. I think it's Baylor lost too. Baylor and Iowa State both fell. But then we also have, let's see, in the Nebraska bracket, let's see, Nebraska's taking on Kansas. And which, again, Nebraska just played K-State, their arch rival, and beat them in 3. And then now they take on Kansas because Kansas beat High Point in 3, and then they took out Miami in 4. K-State beat USD, by the way. USD was the 8 seed, K-State at large. They beat them in 5, but fell to Nebraska in 3. So Nebraska and Kansas, so that's 2 Big 12 teams now in the Sweet 16. And also, let's see, A&M Louisville down there. And then we have, Stanford beat Arizona in 4, by the way, guys. Arizona did beat South Dakota State. They were the 7 seed in 4. Stanford beat Utah Valley in 4, and then Stanford beat Arizona in 4. So, yeah. So, Stanford and Wisconsin, and then Colorado fell in 3 to Indiana. So, yeah, it's tough. BYU lost in the first round. Colorado lost in the second round. So, yeah, K-State lost. Arizona lost. K-State lost. Colorado's out. Iowa State's out. Was that Baylor? Did I say Baylor as well, too? I know I saw Baylor somewhere. Where'd they go? So let's see. So yeah, so K-State's out. Kansas is still playing. TCU is out. Arizona's out. Colorado's out. Utah's out. BYU's out. Iowa State's out. Baylor's out. So yeah, 8 of the 10 out. Those last 2 standing, KU and of course Forks up, Arizona State. So yes, but that's what ASU has, 11 a.m. Thursday. That is absolutely awesome. But shifting to women's hoops real quick, guys. Molly Miller and the Sun Devil Women's Hoops. I played the bell ringing for you. They are 10-0. 10-0. And I want you to hear, I'm pretty sure I have let's hear from Molly Miller. Again, 10-0, guys. Again, they held San Francisco to 47 points. They've been scoring in the high 60s, low 70s. Held them to 7 points in the second quarter. This is Coach Miller. Phenomenal job. Forks up. Then went to support the men that night, too, as they beat Oklahoma. But here is Molly Miller post-game. Here, actually, over at Mullet Arena, because volleyball is going on here, as the Brianne January Classic wrapped up, and the Devils are 10-0. One of 13 teams in women's hoops that are undefeated.
Its first 10-0 start in program history. How special is it to be a part of this group, especially in your first season as head coach?
Yeah, no, that's not about me. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts that go into making it a good start like this. One is the belief in a bunch of people, a bunch of strangers from the get-go. We probably have, surrounding our program, about 30 strangers here that came on campus in June. So for everyone to buy into the vision and now the mission, that's the most special part about this. And then, I have to thank kind of the whole around scheduling. really elite programs play at home in November and December. I know it's a stretch on resources and facilities. When you host two tournaments like we hosted at Thanksgiving and here, so shout out to the administration, the facilities, all the staff to make this happen. These back-to-back tournaments are good for us because hopefully that's what we're doing in March, and playing at home and generating some buzz about the program is good for us too.
Coach, were you aware that program history or a program record was on the line tonight?
Yeah, I heard about it. But, you know, it's one game at a time. I thought my kids were going to run up with a congratulatory hug. They didn't. They said, thanks for scoring 67. So like 6-7. It's like, I wish you would have held them to 41. I guess 4-1 is a thing now. So I don't know. So that was what I got post-game.
Coach, into that second quarter, down the stretch, 3 minutes to go, the offense really, started to light a fire. You got into a little bit of some questionable calls. What does it know to just know your team has your back in those moments?
I love that. We all have each other's back. So what's so cool about this team, if anything's going to motivate them, I'm like all for it. If it's the officials, if it's defense, whatever it is, it's motivating. We're all on the same page. They're a physical team. Like, that was good for us. We're playing different styles really early. So yesterday we got really tested on the defensive end. They were scrappy and physical and quick. Today they were really physical, liked transition. So we're being tested in different ways, which is positive.
Well, speaking of physical and defense, I mean, hold them to 7 points in the second quarter. I know, like I said, I know you said to me a million times you stress it, but I mean, 7 points in the second quarter. What were you just seeing from your team, and what was working there?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that's scoring in the upper 70s, lower 80s. So just keeping a 44, that's pretty impressive. There's nowhere to go. We really swarmed the basketball, especially when they weren't looking on turns and rotations. And poor Marley is frustrated with her shooting right now, but I couldn't. She dictates the game. I mean, she misses a shot and then goes down there and puts her nose in the ball and takes a charge. Like, that's who we want to be as a program. So even though things aren't going her way, maybe offensively, she makes a difference for us out there.
Deborah Davenport had a really good game. She's doing all the little things. She's done that all season. What have you seen in her growth and development so far?
Buy-in. I think it's really hard when you're a player, especially some of these players who played 30-plus minutes a game from their previous stop, and then they come here and they got to find a niche and find a role. She's found her niche of going in there, playing hard, rebounding, doing the dirty work, and that's our brand. So if you're going to do that, you're going to play, and she's figured that out really quickly. We got a lot of different ways to win with a lot of different weapons. We're not going to rely on one or two people every game. Anyone can step up at any given time. I mean, you saw Jaya do it tonight. And so it's really special, but it's really important that we stick with that mantra. We're going to celebrate to for another half a second and then move on, because we've got a huge road trip coming up. And that's really going to test us going into conference. So we need to refocus. This was good for us, though. I'm proud of the girls, proud of the team, proud of the program.
What have you seen from Jaya Lavette today? And especially there was a moment when you and Jaya hugged, especially after she had a productive game off the bench as well.
Yeah, I just knew what she wanted and what I wanted from her, and those things met today. She's got some perseverance about her, and if we can get that Jaya every day, she's going to help us.
What is it that Jaya wanted going into this tournament?
She wanted to make a difference and an impact. When you're talking about impact, especially in our brand, it's on both sides of the ball. So she can get her offense going with her defense. We call it the Jaya drill sometimes, when she's just dogging the ball up, and I love to see her with that look in her eye. And she did that on a more consistent basis today.
The sidelines are quite different. Was it easier, do you think, the shooting today for them compared to maybe yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing basketball their whole lives, so I don't buy into depth and perception and all that too much. But it's more of a confidence thing. I think if you see the ball going in the basket, you're gonna make it. Like Koa hit 2 threes. She felt a little pep in her step. Jaya was hitting shots. So it's just also back-to-back games. You gotta adjust a little bit if you're short, or try to get to the rim with your legs a little shot. But from a shooting perspective, we definitely want to work and get better so we can be a kind of a 3-level threat to the team.
I have a question though. So McKenna Brackett was named the tournament MVP of this tournament.
She was? I didn't even realize. News to me. Well deserved.
And what have you seen from Brackett throughout the season, and how have you built this type of relationship with her as well?
Oh, she's a special one. She was one of the first players. I mean, when she got in the portal, I knew, I'm like, she's mine. I got to go after her hard. She's so multi-dimensional. You can do anything with her. You can send her off flare screens and she can hit a three. You can post her up. You can have her get to the elbow and rip or pull up a jump shot. She's a double-double machine too. She's rebounding really well, which helps this team.
Where do you see this game 10 games from now?
Oh, in the rearview mirror, but hopefully we've learned a lot. You know, you want to learn in non-conference headed into conference. So when we look back and see the different ways we win, we shouldn't be able to say, well, we haven't faced this. You know, you faced it before. You faced pressure. You faced three-point slinging teams. You faced transition teams. You faced physical teams. So hopefully that's the build.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
And there she is, Molly Miller. You heard it right there. I mean, yes, it always is one game at a time, but the best start in program history. Like Charlie Turner Thorne, those tournament runs talked about, forks up to Coach Thorne. Again, one of the first coaches when I was covering back when I was covering the junior colleges, again, welcoming, inviting, man, always any shows I was on. Again, she can make time, and she made time. So, and we got to catch up with Coach Thorne soon. It's been way too long, but nonetheless, anyway, yeah. So, but I mean, you hear it and you look at the, this 67-44, both, and she mentioned Jaya Levette, like you said, who stayed 15 points. Want to talk efficient? 7 for 9 from the field. She was 1 for 2 from the 3-point line. Which means she was 6 for 7 from inside the arc. I mean, that's just absolute money. Absolute money. 15 points for Levette. Oh, and McKenna Brackens, the MVP, who you heard right there. 15 points for her, 6 for 8. From the field, 1 for 1 from 3, 2 for 4 from the line. They were 8 for 14 for the game. That's 57%. Not too low. I mean, the other side of that is San Francisco. They only had 9 free throws, and they made 89% for them. So, but they just weren't in. They shot 33%. You want to talk about suffocating defense, making plays. I love what last year Poa got a little. There was a little ball. They were tied up again. Nothing cheap, nothing dirty from either player. And I want to say she got tied up with Candy Adokpagbe. Adokpagbe. She got tied up with San Francisco's guard there. And it was a jump ball. And she just kind of like separated because a little grabbing, gamesmanship. And again, players in hoops always, I call it the Dennis Rodman effect because they have their arms up. I'm not saying Rodman did, but, kind of have their arms up. They'll be entangled. And they're looking at the ref like I'm standing straight. I'm not doing anything, but they're just moving. So the other player has to move with them. Like, no, but that wasn't it. So, yeah, a little feistiness. But the defense, I mean, like I said, it was tied at 13 after 1. And you heard Jeff Metcalf ask a question about line size because when we were here, Friday night, Desert Financial for the women's round of 32 matchup, they played their first game against McNeese State, and both teams shot it was horrendous shooting. And yes, the Devils did win. They pulled away. They won, but still, it was, but tied at 13 after 1, and then the Devils put up 18 in the second quarter, and they hold USF to 7 points. Now, they did miss some open shots, but there was a lot of contested. USF had San Francisco had 30. No way. Turnovers, San Francisco had 31. ASU had 24. So, again, it wasn't like crazy much better, but they still forced 31. I mean, you're plus 7. You got to like that. I know if you're Molly Miller, you're looking at tape saying, you have 31 turnovers when we hit conference play, or even this next road trip, because they have Who do they have? They have I want to say Gonzaga's in there and Oregon State's in there. I just don't remember. My apologies. I'll look at I have it in my notes, but it is so they finished up. Let's see. So they're 10-0 now, and they beat McNeese State. That's who they played. And then San Francisco, it was 57-47, McNeese State game. They're at Penn State. Tomorrow. Holy moly, tomorrow. Yeah, so they already left. They left yesterday, I'm guessing. They're at Penn State, and that is a 5 p.m. tip-off. It's on the Big Ten Network tomorrow, 5 p.m. tip-off. And then they fly back because Sunday, they'll come back here, but then Sunday they go up to Corvallis and take on Oregon State, and then they'll go from Oregon State to Spokane to take on Gonzaga on the 16th before opening up, like Coach said, conference play on December 21st. Where they're home for Colorado, and then on New Year's Eve they're at BYU. They're at Utah New Year's Eve, and then January 3rd they're at BYU. So that is that, my friends. But yeah, 10-0 guys. You look at it, Coppin State 67-53, Eastern Washington 73-58. USD, they shot lights out in that game. And then Santa Clara, a tournament team. And then UNLV, who's been a tournament team, they beat them. And then Utah Tech, 81-54, they beat them. Little Rock, 59-41. Southeast Missouri State, 85-56. And McNeese State, 57-47 on San Francisco, 67-44, like I said. But, yeah, you look at the like you said, the Devils ended up shooting 52% from the field, 38% from three. 5 for 13 against them, not out of control with it, but you heard Coach talk about Marley. Yes, I know the Hail Marley, but still, she was 1 for 5 shooting, but she was 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 75%, 0 for 2 from 3, and 1 for 5 overall. But Eloisa Carrera had 8 points. Gabby Elliott had 10. And you heard Deborah Davenport's name mentioned. She came in, she was 2 for 2, 1 for 2 from the line. She had 5 points. Played 17 minutes. But yeah, it's, and like I said, Jaya Levette coming off the bench, and then, Marley is starting, but defensively, and like Coach said, makes an impact. So, hey, they hit the road. They're at Penn State tomorrow night. Big Ten Network, guys, do check it out. I will say that, do check it out, because this team, they are rocking it. So we'll see what they can do on the road. Again, that is a big road trip, and then again I'm surprised. And again, schedules, I'm just saying, schedules are, tough, but you play Penn State, then you play Oregon State. It's a Tuesday, Sunday thing, but I'm surprised maybe, you play Tuesday and maybe Saturday or Friday, but you play, somewhere, someone in between here in Penn State. But hey, I'm stoked they're going up to Old Pac-12 foe, Oregon State, and then at Gonzaga. So, yeah, it's just this team. You look at as of I mean, 706 to 530, averaging 70 points a game. We'll take that. Obviously 10 games, 70.6, but and their opponents are averaging 53 points a game. So yeah, you'll take a 17 point that. Three-pointers, again, they've had some games that are good, but they're 44 for 150. It's 29%. A little low, but overall they're shooting 45% from the field. So, you'll definitely take that. Free throw percentage right now is at 65%, 64.6%. So let's get that up to 70%. And I know Coach is probably definitely talking about that, but nonetheless. So, but yeah, and then men's hoops, guys. Oh man, what an awesome Jerry Colangelo Classic game they played Saturday night as they beat Oklahoma 86-70, guys. 86-70. And you look at that game, and like I said, Bobby Hurley, you know, Mo Odom led the team with 17. Anthony Pig Johnson had 16, and then both and he had a heck of a game. Marcus Adams Jr. and Andrija Grbovic had 11 points each. Pardon me. Sorry about that. Yeah, they both had 11. And then you get Truett with 6. Noah Musin, again, working his way back again. He's been back in the lineup, played 27 minutes, 6 points, 2 for 5, both from the field, but he took all his shots from behind the arc. But he did have 6 rebounds as well, 8 assists, so moving the ball around. But yeah, Mo Odom, 4 for 7 from the field, 50% from 3. Hey, what is he from the line? Mr. 100%, 6'4", 6. So, yeah, he played 31 minutes at 17 points, 6 assists, 5 boards. Yeah, absolutely crushing it. Let's see. Did Mo Odom have... Oh. Mo Odom had, like I said, 6 assists, 5 boards. No steals. Did have 4 turnovers. But, I mean, look at his efficiency shooting. I mean, 4 for 7. Bam, take it. 3 for 6 from the arc. 50% from 3. Okay, and then 6 for 6 from the line. Truett was 4 for 6 from the line. Masamba Diop was 3 for 4. Get 75% from the line. You'll take it. Pig Johnson, 80%, 4 for 5. Marcus Adams Jr., he was 2 for 4. Trevor Best was 1 for 2. And Alan Mukeba was 1 for 4. But, man, Oklahoma, I mean, so when you look at this, they held them to 35% from the field, guys, 28% from 3. And the Devils were 13 of 24 from 3. That's 54%. I mean, I know I mentioned Mo Odom being 3 for 6. Grbovic was 3 for 4. Pig Johnson was 2 for 2. Marcus Adams Jr. was 3 for 5. Bryce Ford, I mean, he missed his only 3-point attempt. Well, he only took 1, but he missed the one that he took. He was 0 for 1. Yeah, he was 0 for 1. Odom 3 for 6. Grbovic 3 for 4. Pig Johnson 2 for 2. Marcus Adams Jr. 3 for 5. Trevor Best 0 for 1. Musin, like I said, 2 for 5. So yeah, 13 of 24, guys. 54%. I mean, that's yeah, you shoot like that, you're going to beat a lot of teams and you're going to put up a big amount of points. But again, they don't get too comfortable. I mean, I get to Anthony Johnson going to the rim, Mo Odom working the ball around. It's just this team gets it. But yeah, 35% overall from the field for Oklahoma, 28% from 3. And, well, neither team was great from the line, but ASU was better. Oklahoma 62%, 16 of 26. ASU 23 of 34 at 68% for the Devils. So, and again, neutral site, but still, it's a home-ish game. So, but yeah, I mean, absolutely money. So forks up to Molly Miller, forks up to Bobby Hurley, forks up to Coach Dillingham. As again, a lot of you saw the breaking news. I didn't bury it. I'm about to get out of here. Sam Levitt did not attend the team banquet, and it looks like he is transferring. He's going to hit the transfer portal. It was broken earlier today. I saw Chris Cartman had stuff, PHNX, and like I tell you, oh wait, hold on. Coach Dillingham just tweeted. Wow. Well, it looks like Javen Robinson, Hayes Fawcett, about 20 minutes ago. It says Arizona State starting cornerback Javen Robinson plans to enter the transfer portal. He tells On3 Sports. The 5'11", 180-pound corner started the last 2 seasons, totaling 85 tackles, 3 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and 12 PBUs. So, wow. I guess nothing should shock me, but that actually does with Javen. I mean, he, working with coaches, obviously playing with Keith. Keith has a decision coming up. Keith Abney, who we saw or who came on the show, as you guys know. But yeah, and Coach Dillingham said going to be a baller somewhere. And again, that's the thing, not that he doesn't care about these guys, he wants them, but if they hit the portal, he is going to again, help them get to where they want to go. But again, in this day and age, I guess you can say NIL, but the way this team's winning, all that stuff, I don't know. But Javen Robinson in the transfer portal. Yeah. So he is hitting the portal, but I mean, it's open, so it's that time of year. Coach Van Neal talk about it too. So, but hey, it's great. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, New Year's Eve, the Devils will be playing. Coach spoke today. I will work on gathering that, but I was here for volleyball again. I wish I could teleport and be in 2 places at once. Well, or teleport / clone. That'd be absolutely awesome. But yeah, nonetheless. So, but yeah, Sam Levitt as well wasn't at the banquet. I want to finish that thought up. Even if you're going to transfer, I figured he would have been at the team banquet. Obviously, he's one of the team captains. He was on the leadership council. Yes, the injury, and yes, he was at the last game. He was at, the Arizona game on the sidelines, Territorial Cup game. So I just, wow, that's tough. I mean, even if you're going to transfer, show at the thing. And I love Sam Levitt. So I know a lot of people are throwing stuff out there. Hey, I think he's a hell of a player, did a hell of a job. And the injury sucks. And, if he does hit the portal, well, coach will find him somewhere to go. Preferably not in the Big 12. No. But yeah, but I don't get that one, in this day and age, guys, transfer portals and that, but yeah, so that like I said, if he does, it is a bummer, but you onward and upward, guys, and it's unfortunate, but in this day and age, it does happen. And, people can say, well, he left Michigan State. Well, they were having some issues and coaching changes and all that stuff. So, but anywho, that's going to do it. Again, I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Again, we'll talk more volleyball and, again, more football as well, too. As like I said, Tony the Tiger Bowl, the Sun Bowl in El Paso. They'll be taking on the ACC champs, Duke. They played in 2014 in the Sun Bowl. ASU beat them, I want to say 38-31. 38-31. I think that was it. So, anywho, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. Like I said, same bat time, same bat channel. And for the reigning back-to-back Big 12 champs and Sweet 16 bound women's volleyball, it is #OurState for you school down south. It is #OurState. You guys know it. As always, Go Devils. And yes, forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
27-yard line. That's a great call. Two-point fake. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Poole, touchdown. Quick flag.
Third down and 5. Levis swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Revenge on this team this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025. This one the other way. It is still going back. That's the drag. Locks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.
Takes his shot for